Mexico City doesn't make sense. It's over 22.5 million people squeezed into a valley that used to be a lake. It's rooftop mezcal bars in the shadow of ancient pyramids. Chaos wrapped in ritual. Elegance layered over ruins. And somehow it works. This is your Mexico City travel guide, but not just any travel guide. These are 14 unforgettable things to do in Mexico City, grouped into 3 acts. The wild, the elegant, the timeless. Welcome to the Itinerant Traveler, where we go deeper than the checklist. Let's explore Mexico City in 3 acts. Act 1. The wild. Before Mexico City slows down and reveals its soul, it grabs you by the collar. This is the side of the city that's loud, chaotic, and impossible to ignore. Full of color, sound, movement, and heat. If you want to feel alive, start here. Where chaos becomes culture and the costumes hit harder than the punches. This is Mexico City's wild side, and it starts in the ring. Number 14. Lucha Libre at Arena Mexico. You haven't really arrived until you've heard 1,000 voices shouting at masked wrestlers in the neon-lit arena. This is Lucha Libre Mexico City. Part sport, part theater, all adrenaline. Held at the iconic Arena Mexico, it's easily one of the best things to do in Mexico City. Not because it's polished, but because it's real. Heroes soar, villains cheat. The crowd chants, drinks, and throws confetti like it's sacred. And the masks, they're not just props, they're identity. You can buy one on the street or make your own in a workshop, each design tied to legends, history, or lucha lore. If you want to feel the city's heartbeat, start here, in the ring, where chaos becomes culture. To catch a Lucha Libre show, check the description for tickets. Number 13. Xochimilco Trajinera Ride. If you're looking for one of the most unique experiences in Mexico City, this is it. Not a museum, not a monument, a floating party drifting through ancient canals. Take a Trajinera's boat ride in Xochimilco and you'll float past vibrant chinampas, ancient floating gardens first developed by the Aztecs. Today, most are used for tourism, though some still grow crops. All the while, mariachi bands jump from boat to boat to keep the party alive. Vendors float by selling micheladas, tacos, and even handmade souvenirs. Locals celebrate birthdays, graduations, and just being alive. You're invited to join. Want something more surreal? Drift past the Island of the Dolls and hear the legends for yourself. It's festive, it's strange, and it's unforgettable. If you want to learn more about the Island of the Dolls, check the description for our video about the spookiest places in the world. Number 12. Street Food Tour in Roma Norte. If you're wondering where to find the best street food in Mexico City, the answer isn't a single taco stand. It's a neighborhood. And that neighborhood is Roma Norte. This is where a proper food tour in Mexico City turns into an adventure. You'll move from flame-grilled tacos al pastor on the sidewalk to vegan birria served from behind graffiti-tagged doors. One block might smell like fresh tortillas, the next like Oaxacan mole bubbling in a pot older than your Airbnb. Between bites, you'll hear the city, mariachi horns, skateboards, laughter. It's fast, loud, and full of flavor. And just when you think you've tasted everything, someone hands you a grasshopper. Welcome to lunch. Check the description for links to top-rated food tours. Number 11. Mariachi Serenade at Plaza Garibaldi. It's loud, it's chaotic, and somehow it's still one of the most romantic things to do in Mexico City. By nightfall, Plaza Garibaldi becomes a living jukebox. Dozens of mariachi bands in embroidered charro suits gather in clusters, tuning guitars and waiting for someone to request a song. Couples lean close, grandparents tear up. Someone always sings along. Whether you're celebrating something or just passing through, this is easily one of the best things to do in Mexico City at night. Order a song, tip the band, and watch the moment bloom around you. And if you're not in love when you get here, don't worry, the music will make you feel like you are. Act 2. The Elegant. After the noise fades and the lights dim, Mexico City shows you another side. A side made of fine details, thoughtful rituals, and quiet confidence. This is where elegance isn't about expense, it's about presence. The way a drink is poured, the way a building holds silence. The chaos hasn't gone, it's just changed clothes. Number 10. Bar hopping in La Juarez. If you're wondering what to do in Mexico City for first-time visitors, start with the kind of night that feels like a movie. La Juarez is where old mansions meet new money and creativity spills out of every doorway. Begin at Soho House, which opened in September 2023, where rooftop pools shimmer above restored Baroque walls. End up at Handshake Speakeasy, named one of the best bars in the world, hidden behind velvet curtains and low conversation. You'll sip fig-infused mezcal, watch smoke curl off the glass, and realize this city knows how to be elegant without ever trying too hard. It's no surprise this kind of night ranks among the best things to do in Mexico City, because here, even cocktails tell stories. Number 9. Tequila and mezcal tasting. There's buzz and then there's ritual. A proper tequila or mezcal tasting isn't just a drink, it's a lesson in terroir, time, and tradition. This kind of slow sip belongs on any serious Mexico City itinerary. Whether you're at a candlelit bar in Roma or the Museum of Tequila and Mezcal, you'll learn the difference between Espadín and Tobala, between smoky and smooth, between drinking and understanding. It's one of those cultural experiences in Mexico City that feels indulgent and essential at the same time. And with venues this stylish, it's no wonder mezcal tastings have become one of the top things to do in Mexico City, especially as more travelers seek experiences that connect modern nightlife with ancestral roots. Check the description for Tequila and Mezcal Museum tour tickets. Number 8. Palacio de Bellas Artes. Some cities wear their history. Mexico City performs it. Palacio de Bellas Artes is more than just one of the most photographed historical landmarks in CDMX. It's a masterpiece in motion. The marble gleams, the dome glows. Inside, murals by Riviera and Orozco speak without sound, and the curtain itself is a stained glass waterfall lit from within. Even if you don't catch a show, just standing beneath that golden dome is enough to feel the weight of art, architecture, and identity colliding in one unforgettable frame. This is the city's elegance, choreographed and timeless. Number 7. Mercado de Artesanías La Ciudadela. Skip the fridge magnets. If you're looking to find authentic souvenirs at Mercado de Artesanías Ciudadela, you'll walk away with something more than just a keepsake. Here, tradition is stitched into otomi embroidery, fired into hand-painted ceramics, and carved into masks that carry centuries of symbolism. It's not just a market, it's a museum where everything happens to be for sale. Tucked among the city's historic streets, La Ciudadela was first showcased to the world during the 1968 Olympic Games. That legacy still lingers in the air, giving this space a quiet kind of prestige. For travelers in search of unique things to do in Mexico City, this is where heritage meets craftsmanship. No rush, no noise, just time to wander and find something that feels like it was made for you. Act 3. The Timeless. Beneath the energy and elegance, there's something deeper, a quiet rhythm that's been beating here long before there were cities, roads, or rooftop bars. This is the Mexico City that doesn't shout, it remembers. If the first act shows you how the city lived, this one shows you how it lasts. Number 6. Coyoacan's Colonial Streets. Some places ask to be photographed. Coyoacan asks to be felt. Tucked into the southern stretch of the city, it's one of the best neighborhoods to explore in CDMX, not because it's flashy, but because it's still. Cobblestone streets wind past pastel facades and 16th century courtyards. The air smells like tamales and roasted corn. Musicians drift through plazas lined with books, coffee, and color. You'll find the iconic Frida Kahlo Museum, also known as Casa Azul, nestled in a quiet corner. Step inside, and you're standing in her world, vivid, intimate, and unforgettable. Coyoacan earns its place among the best things to do in Mexico City, not by shouting for your attention, but by rewarding those who slow down long enough to listen. Tickets for the Frida Kahlo Museum are in the description. Number 5. Day of the Dead. Some celebrations are loud. This one is eternal. If there's one event that belongs on every Mexico bucket list, it's Dia de los Muertos. Not just for the visuals, though the marigolds, painted skulls, and Catrina parades are unforgettable, but for the way it reframes grief into something beautiful. Held each year between October 31st and November 2nd, the city transforms. Streets glow with candlelight. Ofrendas bloom in homes and public spaces. Families gather in cemeteries to share food, stories, and songs with those who've passed. For anyone wondering about things to do in Mexico City for first-time visitors, this is more than a suggestion. It's an invitation, a chance to experience a culture that doesn't fear death, but dances with it. Number 4. National Museum of Anthropology. If you want to experience where Mexico City comes from, this is where you start. The National Museum of Anthropology isn't just one of the best museums in Mexico City, it's a monument to memory. Inside, you'll walk among Olmec heads, Mayan glyphs, and the Aztec sunstone, each artifact whispering stories that still shape the city outside its walls. Its newly renovated indigenous wing, reopened in January 2025, bridges millennia of heritage with the present, showcasing living traditions from Mexico's indigenous and Afro-Mexican communities through artifacts, multimedia, and movement. It reminds you the culture isn't frozen in glass. It evolves, it resists, it lives. For anyone asking what to do in Mexico City if you love history, this isn't just a recommendation, it's a rite of passage. Number 3. Templo Mayor. Mexico City doesn't bury its past, it builds on top of it. In the middle of Centro Historico, surrounded by cathedrals, street vendors, and city noise, the ruins of Templo Mayor sit quietly exposed, once the ceremonial heart of the Aztec Empire. The temple was nearly erased. The stones are still speaking. The museum nearby holds blades of obsidian, clay offerings, and fragments of gods once pulled from beneath the pavement. It's not the biggest site or the flashiest, but for those exploring Mexico City as solo travelers, that's part of the pull. You move through it at your own pace. No guide, no group, just space, weight, and time. If your idea of what to do in Mexico City includes places that leaves you thinking long after you've left, start here. In the ruins, beneath the city where memory holds its ground. Number 2. Chapultepec Park and Castle. At first, it just feels like a park. Trees, trails, vendors selling grilled corn. Then the forest deepens and something shifts. Chapultepec has been sacred ground since the days of the Mexica. Today, it's home to lakes, museums, and the only royal castle in North America, perched on a hill with murals on the walls and the whole city at its feet. Locals come here to breathe. Travelers come here to look back. And tucked between it all, you'll find some of the most meaningful free things to do in Mexico City, from strolls through sculpture gardens to afternoons beneath the shade of Montezuma cypresses. Among the many places to visit in CDMX, few offer this much space to just be. You don't need a ticket to feel what's held here. You just need time. Number 1. Teotihuacan Pyramids. It's not just one of the most iconic Mexico City attractions, it's something older, heavier, and harder to explain. Just 30 miles from the city, the sacred site pulls you out of the present. You'll walk the Avenue of the Dead, climb the Pyramid of the Sun, stand in the shadow of the moon. And as the wind moves through what's left of temples and plazas, you'll feel it. Not just the scale, but the silence. Of all the day trips from Mexico City, this one doesn't feel like a detour. It feels like a return. People come here to explore the ruins of Teotihuacan pyramids near Mexico City, built between 100 and 250 CE, long before the rise of the Aztecs. But they leave with something else. A shift, a perspective, maybe even a little peace. Check the description for Teotihuacan Pyramids private tour tickets. You've just seen Mexico City in 3 acts: the wild, the elegant, the timeless. This was your Mexico City travel guide, built on moments, not just places. If it helped you plan your trip or made you feel something, hit subscribe, check the links in the description for tickets, and let us know your favorite stop or a place you think we missed. Thanks for watching. Safe and happy travels.